How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about CEI, Camber Energy, which was up almost 20% on the day. I was telling you guys in my previous video, if you see this stock pulling back all the way down to the 70-cent range, that could be an opportunity to add if you're looking for the dip. We had a strong push on the day. You can tell from my expression, I'm very excited to talk about this because I find it very funny. Every time CEI pulls back, we have the haters coming in saying, well, you know what, Drano, this stock is done. Like, why would you talk about this stock? And then when we have oil prices popping off and the stock runs up, everyone starts changing their tune. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for CEI Camber Energy. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at 82 cents, being up 19.44%. On the low, it tested 68 cents, and then on the high, testing 87 cents. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 58.322 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 22.289 million shares. So we had well above the average in regards to volume, and that is why we've seen some strength in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 50.85. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, we are below the 100-day, but you can see we closed just above the 21-day EMA, which is at 81 cents, and we're also above the 50-day as well. And if you guys remember what I was saying in my previous video, at the most, if we have a pullback, we want to see Camber holding up at least 70 cents. It did test a low of 68 cents, but due to the fact of the economic conditions we have going on around oil, we had a nice pop to where we saw a high of 87 cents. So that's why I say keep this play on your watch list. So as far as going into tomorrow, if you want to see some strength in this stock, we need to get above the high of the day at 87, and most preferably you'd want to see a move going to 90 cents and then seeing what it does from there, especially getting to the 200-day moving average right here at 96 cents. But as we can see what's going down inside of the after hours at the time of this recording, it is down 4.25%. So if it does decide to pull back, I'd want to see support hold up for Camber around 73 cents. If 73 cents breaks, then we can revisit back down to 70. I don't see us going all the way back down to 68 unless we see a big change in oil prices. So I would continue to keep an eye on this play regardless. So overall in general, let's see if Camber can at least try to hold up 70 cents. Most preferably, I want to see it hold up around 74 cents. And then as far as for next week, we can see what it does from there. So let's go on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Camber Energy. As we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we see the recent filings here, we have for Subsequana International Group LLP with calls with a value of 674,200 shares. We also see that they have puts, of course they are hedging, with 297,100 shares. And now when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 41.57%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 5.75 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, short shares availability is at 400 400,000 updated 29 minutes ago. And then for the short ball fee rate, it is at 48%. And as far as for the max on the day, it was at around 50%. And then when we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 11th, it is at 43.81. And then for the close of the 12th being at 41.57. So what this shows us that Camber is a play you want to keep on your watch list. Unfortunately, since the short interest percentage of the float is at 9.85%, it doesn't have short squeeze potential. But you know, whenever we have a lot of demand in the market when it comes to oil plays, Camber could see some attention. Now let's go on to the order flow distribution.
Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for CEI. So we see on the inflow, it's at 13.52 million, and then on the outflow, it's at 12.47 million. So we ended up having an inflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large, it was 2.71. On the medium, it was 7.61. And then on the small, it was 3.20. I don't know if I said this already, but these numbers are in the millions. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large, it was 2.55. On the medium, it was 7.34. And then on the small, it was 2.58. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for today, April the 13th, it being just over 167,000. The past 4 trading days prior were all outflow days. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 16.28%. And you know what? This is not too bad for a volatile stock like CEI. And this also reaffirms, like I talked about in all of my previous videos for Camber, the best time to buy this stock is on the dip. And I was talking about that dip being at around 70 cents. And if you even really wanted to go a little bit further, and where I was saying, you know what, technically it could look weak, but there could be some upside there, even getting down into the 60-cent range. In this case, for today, it got down to 68. But at the end of the day, if you got in at 70, then you had a good chance to take in some profits, or you should be seeing some green right now. And that's why I emphasize, buy these stocks on the dip. Buy them on the red days. Do not, and I repeat, do not chase them on the green days. That's not how you crush it inside of the market. So let's get into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for CEI Camber Energy in regards to the price action, we ended up seeing a high of the day at 87 cents. So many are going to be asking me, Dre, is that when you buy? Of course not. I want to make sure you guys are getting this very clear. Of course, I can't give you financial advice, but the best time to buy this stock is when it's having a dip, being in that 70-cent range. If you caught it at 70, even better. As far as buying in right now, I would be keeping an eye on oil prices. Many people were complaining and being frustrated saying, hey, oil has been running up. Why didn't Camber respond right away? We have to understand it is a laggard. It is a penny stock. There's also a lot of manipulation around it due to the fact it does get interest from short sellers. So being aware of this and also taking a look at other oil plays, whether it might be Chevron or maybe it might be Oxy. Again, keep a watch list so you know exactly what is going on. And this is how you take advantage of those strong pops. But aside from that, if we have a pullback, we want to see it hold up at least around 73 to 74 cents before we go into the long weekend. Because if oil prices continue to rev up, that's where I want to see potentially, whether it might be next week or the week after, if Camber can break through 87 cents. Hey, it might even happen tomorrow, but most preferably is breaking through 87, making that move to 90. And we also have the 200-day moving average, which is right around 96. And I think if it breaks through 96, we should be able to test $1. But this is a resistance level for Camber, so that is one thing you want to keep in mind and add to your homework. But as far as a position is concerned, I would be eyeing the 70-cent range. There's no reason whatsoever you should be buying into this play while it's trading in the 80-cent range. And if you are going to be day trading it, play off of those support levels. That is very crucial. I would not be buying inside of the pre-market or in the after hours. Do it in the market open when there's a lot more volume. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we do see some interest in regards to options. And then taking a look at the short interest information, even though CEI doesn't have short squeeze potential, we do see an uptick when it comes comes to the short volume. Then taking a look at the short interest information, even though it doesn't have short squeeze potential, it is very interesting when we're taking a look at the short volume. There's many shorts who are vested in this play, but the moment we have a move to the upside and break through those key levels, we could see some strong price action. So that's why you want to have your exit strategy right away. You don't want to be caught stock watching. You want to be able to have that limit ready. You can get out of the play and enjoy that green and then come comment on this video. So it'll be very interesting to see how this stock performs going into tomorrow. But remember what I said, I would love for us to hold up at least the mid 70 range. If we can close above that, even better going into the following week. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I can't wait to see how this stock performs going into tomorrow. We'll talk soon.